$700.05. That is what I just spent at Walmart.
Why are these all locked up? Bro, no one even has a key.
Well, we spent almost $400 at Walmart, and here's what we got.
So today we're going to be going over a topic recommended from one of you guys. Your videos have been so educational, thank you. Can you do another video on grocery prices? So we have a lot to look at today, the recent increase in prices in stores, what some people are paying for food, people are stealing groceries now, and the preventative measures these stores are taking. Dynamic prices and digital labels are now being rolled out into a lot of stores, as crazy as that sounds. And then I'm going to show you some prices around where I am. We also have comments from you guys from previous videos, so if you want to be featured on a future video, leave in the comments down below. But let's start off with one of the big stories we all have seen in the news recently.
The CEO of Walmart, Doug McMillon, saying what so many have been anticipating, and he said it loud and clear that Walmart is going to have to raise prices.
Walmart, the world's largest retailer, is telling its shoppers the time has come.
Even at the reduced levels, the higher tariffs will result in higher prices.
CEO Doug McMillon did not say on today's quarterly earnings call which products would face a price increase, but the chief financial officer indicated that prices could go up within weeks. Toys and electronics imported from China fill many shelves at Walmart. Some of those will face an import tax of 30%.
Tariffs on countries like Costa Rica, Peru, and Colombia are pressuring imported items like bananas, avocados, coffee, and roses. We'll do our best to control what we can control in order to keep food prices as low as possible.
Now, I don't doubt that the tariffs have increased the prices, but it seems awfully similar to when all of these giant companies were just singling out Walmart in this clip, but many of its other competitors have said the same thing, where they were increasing prices because of inflation a few years ago. But when you start comparing pre-pandemic prices to what they are now, it was significantly past the inflation rate. So I'm just worried that the next round of this will do the exact same thing, make it even more difficult to buy the necessities. I mean, we could take a look at what some people are paying for groceries now.
Recently, I just went to Trader Joe's and I feel like I spent a lot of money. For context, we do not eat out during the week, only every once in a while, and I meal prep lunches for both my husband and then I cook dinners every night. I spent $357 and some change, and it's just the two of us, a 2.5-year-old give or take, and then like a 6.5-month-old. Is that a lot? Let me know.
So we could go right to the comments. We spend $350 a week at Wegmans for a family of 4, and we don't eat out regularly. So you're talking $1,400 a month. Now, in almost every one of these comment sections, the prices for a family is just wildly different. Right after that, family of 6 adults, $350 to $400. I don't know if that's a week or a month. Family of 5, I spend around $150 to $200 a week, so about half of that. Family of 7 spend about $700 to $800 a month. One right after that, $120 a week. I mean, crazy differences. We live in San Diego, and it's easily $250 a week for my husband, toddler, and I. We don't buy any beef since we purchased bulk last year, so it's all in a deep freezer, which helps grocery costs lower, but it still costs something to begin with. But we eat out often. Okay, then it's definitely expensive these days. $250 a week for a family of 4, $150 to $200 for myself and my husband. We spend $220 a week, family of 4 at Trader Joe's. So I also asked you guys a similar question in one of my older videos. Are your grocery prices increasing? And there were many replies since 2022. Yup, I get a few items. It's $80 to $100. Milk, eggs, meat, and vegetables, not even snacks. I live in Connecticut. I worked in a grocery store that's part of a Midwest chain, and I've watched prices go through the roof over the past 3 years. Here in Belgium, I work at a store, and every day I see prices go up 20 cents here, 50 cents there. Some things have gone up 2 to 5 euros per item, and I work at a food store. $326 for meat, eggs, and cheese for a month. I live in Italy, and my grocery bill has increased about 50% in the past 3 years. I know that, of course, I'm American and most of my audience lives in the US, but these price increases are happening all over the world. We have a family of 5 and we spend around $150 to $200 a week. Yes, it's insane. Family of 4 in Oregon, buying the bare minimum still costs us $1,500 a month. Yes, every day and weekly changes. I'm in Anchorage, Alaska, one of the areas that has some absolutely insane prices because a lot of items have to be imported. But it is crazy to see the vastly different amounts of money being spent per week, per month, depending on the family. I mean, this next example is just nuts.
$700. $700.05. That is what I just spent at Walmart to buy groceries for my home, to buy our essentials. Like, I didn't buy anything wild and crazy and extra. The only thing that I would say that I bought that was extra was I bought a couple of those cheap t-shirts that are like the $5 t-shirts in the kids section because my daughter loves them. Or two of my daughters love them. And then I bought a pair of $7 black shorts for my daughter because she needed some. So that wasn't even extra because she needed some. And I bought me a pair of shorts. $700.
I'm at least hoping that $700 for the month, if it's per week like that, $2,800. I mean, the comment section says it best. Girl, what are you buying? I don't know how you spend $700 at Walmart. So we're going to stay on the topic of Walmart for a little bit with a comment from you guys. Just saw a clip where a lady was buying meat in Walmart. She decided to weigh it, and all of the meat she weighed was half of the weight of what Walmart was charging for. Now, I don't have that exact clip. I found another one just like that, which means it's not a one-off issue, but we could take a look real quick.
Okay, this is Walmart's chicken, and it's saying it's 6 pounds, 6.39. And if you weigh it, it's 4 pounds.
They already had one class action lawsuit on these weighted items, and it's injected with water to make it weigh that much. Call your local weights and balances agency and file a complaint. So this is a few different instances that we've seen on this channel of exactly this problem along with the lawsuit. So this is something you really need to check before purchasing. Another clip that we have up on screen, due to the high crime rates, most of all self-checkout at Walmart in the Bay Areas are closed now. And we could go right to the comments. Same here in South Carolina. They only have 2 cashiers open. I'm in Baldwin Park, California. They closed one side of the self-checkouts and have about 3 to 4 employees monitoring the other ones that are open. Well, at that point, you should just have a normal cashier. Same thing is happening in Alaska. Same here. I live in Colorado. I've previously shown you guys what my Target looks like where I used to live in New Jersey. Same exact thing. Whole bunch of self-checkout registers, and they're completely closed permanently. So again, this is happening all over the country. Another comment from one of you guys: it's crazy how much things have changed. Everything is getting more expensive: rent, food, and gas. It feels like no matter how much you make, it's never enough. People are literally living in their cars or trying to go off-grid just to survive. And honestly, with the news articles or random posts that I'll see online, inch by inch, everything just seems to be getting a little bit worse, a little bit more expensive. We could take a look at a set of screenshots. Now, this first quote is absolutely wild. I hope it's almost bait and not an actual quote from somebody at Walmart. If it's hot outside, we could raise the price of water and ice cream. Walmart is replacing price stickers with electronic shelf labels, raising concerns of surge pricing. Despite the outcry from consumers across the country, multiple giant supermarket chains are implementing digital price labels and dynamic pricing strategies where the cost of items fluctuate frequently based on multiple factors. Walmart hopes to have digital price labels at 2,300 stores by 2026. Kroger is expanding the use of digital labels this year after testing them in 20 stores. Whole Foods, the same thing, around 50 stores right now. So they're all testing it to push it out even more. Kroger is taking dynamic pricing to the next level, raising concerns of surge pricing on groceries. Kroger has rolled out electronic shelf labels and are also planning to use cameras with facial recognition to determine customers' gender and age to make them personal offers. Everything has to be some sort of personal ad now, selling data, finding more stuff about you. It's just unbelievable. And there was a reply to this article: can someone explain the difference between surge pricing and price gouging? I've already told you guys a couple times I'm not a fan of the digital price tags. They could go in the back on one of the computers and instantly change the price on anything they want. I'm pretty sure it's illegal to do so, but I believe Kroger had some sort of lawsuit of doing just that during COVID. And that's not even the end of it. These store chains want you to have a subscription service on top of it.
We've officially entered the dark age of self-checkout, and here's why. For years, if you ever went to a Walmart, they have hundreds of self-checkouts that you can choose from, but now they're making you pay. So instead of self-checkout being available to all shoppers at Walmart, you now have to be a Walmart Plus member, which, if you didn't know, is $13 a month. Now you're gonna have to pay a subscription to use self-checkout. But that's not all. Targets across the nation are closing their self-checkout lines and only reopening them during peak hours, and when they are open, you can only use them if you have 10 items or less. And the sad thing is, the main reason they're doing this is to stop shoplifting. There's been huge problems at stores like Walmart and Target where people go and they get a high-value item like a PS5 or a TV. They take a barcode off of something like a banana. They stick it on there, go through self-checkout, boop, walk right out. And it's sad that because of this, we're witnessing the extinction of self-checkout machines. When I go shopping, I don't want to talk to someone. But now at a lot of stores, it seems like you're gonna have to, unless you're willing to shell out $13 a month to pay for a subscription to use self-checkout. This seems like the new future. And it's a future I am not excited for.
So I mean, whether you like self-checkouts or not, I do think it's pretty funny that within just a few years, all of this was adopted by almost any store you could think of because they didn't want to pay employees, cashiers anymore. Just the one-time fee of setting up these self-checkout areas. And now due to theft, it's either completely closed down, a huge waste of money, or like the comment we saw earlier, all of those employees are now just watching people basically be a cashier themselves. You still got to pay them. Now, I personally haven't seen anything in my area with having to be a Walmart Plus member to use the self-checkout in the first place. I wouldn't be surprised if some of the areas with the higher crime rate that have shut down these self-checkout completely would be the same ones starting to roll this out. You're only allowed to use it if you have a Walmart Plus membership. And then after the testing phase, if their revenue goes up, it gets spread to more and more stores. And before you know it, you have to have yet another subscription just to be your own cashier. We have to pay to scan our products and bag ourselves. They're asking for a new boycott. Other little things people have seen with this membership, there's one up on screen right now where this person is paying for Walmart Plus and they tried to do a pickup order. And now if you try to check out with anything below $35, it's an extra $7 fee, which at least at the time that she signed up for Walmart Plus, that wasn't a thing. Just slowly eroding all of these perks and making everything a little bit worse while you're still paying monthly for these services. Another comment from one of you guys, wow, everything is getting locked up. This is truly dystopian. People opt not to buy when things are locked up, and I agree with that. I don't want to have to go and find some employee to unlock random little items. It's not even the PS5 or the computer, something that's incredibly expensive. We could take a look right here.
Why are these all locked up? Bro, no one even has a key. Do you guys have the key to unlock the Tide?
I do.
People try to jack it?
Oh my gosh, dude.
Are you serious?
Load up the carts, like as many as they can when they weren't locked up. Just shoot out the door.
Is there other stuff they try to steal?
Yeah, like cosmetic stuff, women's pads.
I know you're just doing what you have to do, but that's just crazy. You'll notice in California, everything's locked up like this. This is baby formula all locked up. Why? Because people are stealing because it's not illegal to steal, basically.
So there are some areas in the country that are way worse than others because you could basically get away with stealing hundreds of dollars worth of stuff, and it's almost not worth it for these stores to prosecute. And I guess the way to combat that is to lock everything up. But as the previous comment from you guys said, unless I absolutely need that item for some reason right away, I don't want to have to go and ask to unlock every single item that I'm going to purchase. Most likely, I'll probably just end up ordering it online because it gets even worse.
Hey, what's up, America? I'm here at my local Walmart, and I want to show you all the stuff that's locked up for the holidays. So there's the Legos. Okay, that's true. Nerf. So Legos and Nerf.
So you're talking about literal plastic bricks and foam dart guns being locked up. And that was just a part of the video. He keeps going through a lot of the other stuff. We could take a look at some of the comments. So basically to buy anything, you have to go find someone to unlock the panel. I'd shop somewhere else if possible. I stopped at Walmart in Atlanta and they even had t-shirts and socks locked behind glass. That's just absolutely insane. We have another comment from one of you guys. My grocery store checkout has a firm split payment alerts pop up every time you check out. Every time I see it, I feel like we're in such a bad position. It also makes me feel very grateful that I can afford groceries. So this has been increasing in popularity over the past few months. We can look at this article. More Americans are financing groceries with buy now, pay later loans, and more are paying those bills late. Now I know that this is on a different playing field compared to the BNPL hate that I always put on this channel when people are buying things that they don't really need. Vacations, designer goods, electronics, just unnecessary things. But when I start seeing clips like this, buying the necessities, food, groceries, with Klarna Afterpay, things like this, I know that it is really getting bad out there.
Y'all really need to start using Klarna to get your groceries. Groceries are expensive, but I got all of this today for $55 because I used Klarna. So $55. I think the total was $222, and then I used the Klarna, and then I had a $5 coupon, and then it all came out to $55.
So it wasn't $55, it was $220. You're just paying the $55 up front and then going on an installment plan, and that's exactly how these companies will get you if you have that kind of mentality that it's only a quarter of the price of what it actually should be. And if you start falling behind on your loans, it's just going to get worse, especially for consumables like this. You're going to have to go every week or every month. And that's how these types of problems compound very quickly. And I do know that some people are using this as basically their last leg. Of course, you're going to need to buy food to survive. So just seeing clips like this or the news articles becoming much more common is just a really bad sign of where we are right now as a whole.
Holy cow. I just got back from Target. I'm in my car in the parking lot, just decompressing about all the money I spent and the little bit of bags that I have. $180 for some like bananas, peanut butter, frozen waffles, creamer, milk, just like basic things that should not cost this much. And I am like really good at price hunting, finding the best deals, clipping coupons, but I didn't have time today. It was just like, let's run in and grab some things really quick that we need. And yeah, $180 later, I am hurting for what I bought and what I got. It's just outrageous. I think I'm in denial a lot of times about just how high prices are.
We have a comment from you guys that goes along with this. My monthly grocery budget went from $250 to $400 in the last few years. It sucked, but it really pushed me to buy less of the snacky stuff, double my garden so I could do some canning this year, and go in with family to bulk buy meat. Because if you do start looking at a lot of these grocery hauls, I'm definitely not denying that the prices are absolutely outrageous now, but some of the things people are buying are just wildly unhealthy.
Well, we spent almost $400 at Walmart, and here's what we got. So the house was like really, really out of food. So we got a bunch of snacks for Aubrey for school. Don't judge us. Needed more toothpaste, deodorant. Jonathan wanted to try a new scent.
So I'm not going to try to sit here on my high horse and say that I'm the healthiest person on the planet. I have the best diet ever, all whole foods, nothing else, no snacks, but there are a lot of grocery hauls very similar to this with some pretty unhealthy stuff that overall isn't cheap either. It's not like they're doing this because all the healthy food is way, way more. Even stuff like chips and ice cream, any of the snack stuff has gone up crazy in price as well. But we could take a look at some of the comments. There's $35 of food and $350 of snacks here. Where's the food for meals? You're paying for the convenience, which is fine, but that's why it's more expensive. Is the food in the room with us? Wow, $400, that's wild. How much were the pre-sliced, pre-packaged apples compared to just regular apples? There was about 1,700 comments on this video. We have another video up on screen right now, zooming into my 2019 pictures to compare the current prices, which I thought was a very good idea. You could see how much of a difference a lot of the prices have increased. I mean, there's other videos of people finding old receipts from 2017, 2019 from a specific store, going back to the same place, buying the same items and seeing the differences, and it's just a crazy increase. And we're talking about only 5 to 6 years of a difference. We have another comment from one of you guys. If you have an Aldi near you, don't sleep on that store. Shopping there exclusively for my groceries have been life-changing for me. So we are jump cutting to future me, who has went to Aldi's to show you guys some of the stuff that I've found, so you could compare the prices to wherever you live and whatever store you shop at. But I will be honest, to start off with these clips, we went over to the produce, which I don't know if you have to go on specific days because there was a lot of the produce that just really did not look that good. A lot of the items were already rotting, looking pretty old. I mean, I have the bananas that are up on screen that were 73 cents a pound, but some of them didn't look that great. We also had a bag of apples for $3.49, but we can move on to some other items. The eggs were only $2.70 for a dozen. The milk was pretty similar to what I normally see in other stores as well, $2.37 for a gallon of whole milk and then $2.85 for 2%. Most of the chicken breasts that I saw were sitting around $4 a pound. Same thing when we're talking about ground beef as well, and it was $8.49 for the ground turkey, but that was 3 pounds of it, so definitely cheaper than what I normally see. At other stores like Walmart and Target around me, it sits at around $13-14. Now we went over to the bread and saw a lot of the normal name brands, Nature Owned, for $3.42. However, there were other brands right here, 99 cents for an entire loaf of bread. Right here, you could see the difference in price. We have the Doritos Nacho Cheetos bag for $4.48, and then right next to it is the off-brand, basically the same thing, nacho cheese for $1.59. A lot of the cereal here overall was cheaper than I normally see, anywhere from $2 to $3, maybe $3.50. They even had Honey Nut Cheerios for $3.64, and most of the time I've looked at other grocery stores, it sits at around $4 or $5 a box. Now normally I don't get this, I just wanted to put it in the video. This is just a box of macaroni and cheese for only 56 cents per box. A lot of the canned beans and peas were sitting at around $1 or $2 a can. Pretty similar when we're talking about pasta as well. This box was 98 cents. Some of them went up to $2. And then we have some bags of white rice. This was $1.99 and this was 3 pounds of it. And to finish off this clip, the real simple meal, just peanut butter and jelly. $3.95 for a jar of peanut butter. They even had Nutella for $4.45, and grape jelly was $2.49. So overall, definitely cheaper than what I normally see. However, at least the time that I went, the produce didn't look that good. So again, maybe you have to go certain days of the week. It'll be better than others, but we'll just go back to the rest of the video. Another comment from one of you guys, Hawaii resident here. The one girl's video is accurate for the entire state. Now that's referring to one of the older videos that we went through, basically what I just showed you in Aldi, but a girl went to her grocery store in Hawaii and it was just laughable. I mean, basically double the price of whatever you could think of just because they were there. Of course, everything has to be imported and the prices get absolutely insane, all while the same companies are finding small ways to just eke out a little bit more profit with each one of their products.
Shrinkflation, skimpflation, deceptive packaging. Same size bottle, but they've shrunk it down from 89 ounces to 76 ounces. But they wanted it to be the same side by side so that people would not know they shrunk it. This one used to be ice cream, now frozen dairy dessert, meaning that they have skimped out on the higher cost ingredient of heavy cream. They have replaced it with lower cost ingredients, making it not qualify of having 10% cream to make it ice cream. It is now frozen dairy dessert because there's not enough cream to satisfy the legal definition of ice cream. Just like Blue Bunny, always real ice cream. They used to have that badge of honor and no longer. Haagen-Dazs acting like this is a new product. You see how the logo is shaped? They are acting like they're making this new, amazing, cool thing, and they've made their ice cream the shape of their logo, meaning they have skimped out, made the middle part skinny, and they're acting like it's a good thing rather than they just wanted to give us less. And so they found a way of doing that and making it seem like it was new and cool that they're making their ice cream on a stick look like their logo. This comes just like this. You can see where the two are obviously missing that used to be in there.
Now this woman has an entire series dedicated to all of these different items, whether it's the shrinkflation or just deceptive packaging, and this is honestly never ending because they just want a little bit more profit while also charging the same price, if not more. We can take a look at some of the comments. That's why I don't judge when people shoplift, with 133,000 likes. Now I'm definitely not condoning it, but if you look at a lot of these types of videos, many comments say something very similar. The fact that they had a meeting at some point and said, let's remove one piece of gum from the pack to save money is wild. And I guess that's kind of what happened with every one of these examples.
These are some food changes you probably haven't noticed. So Pop-Tarts have decreased the amount of frosting used, especially on the edges. Little Debbie cakes have also shrunk significantly in size over the past decade, with less cream filling used. Breyer's changed their name on the packaging away from ice cream and now says frozen dairy dessert, since it has too little milk fat or too many stabilizers to be considered ice cream. While Capri Sun now just says natural flavors instead of actually listing the fruits, since it's often less than 10% real juice in many flavors. Nutella changed their entire recipe to increase sugar and skim milk powder in exchange for lessening the cocoa content, which makes it a bit greasier and less chocolatey than the original formula. Hershey's also changed their emulsifier to a non-cocoa butter one for many bars, which has now given it a waxier texture. Kraft Mac and Cheese changed their formula to now use paprika and turmeric to enhance the flavor, which actually a few people noticed. And finally, artificial dyes like Red 40, Blue 1, and Yellow 5 will be phased out and replaced with natural dyes for most US-based snacks in the coming years, which you may or may not notice.
So at least the last one was positive, but does go along with one of the comments from you guys. What's even more sad is that we're paying these prices for food that's not even real, let alone all the stuff we've seen in the past couple clips. The amount of these products that get recalled for some sort of contamination, something along the lines of that, is unreal.
Well, this is surprising. Whole Foods Organic Rancher ground beef has tested positive for E. coli. Now, it's not a recall just yet. It's still just a health alert, but I thought you should know. There's also a new Topo Chico mineral water recall for bacterial contamination, and there's also one for Aldi's Casa Mamita churro bites. They didn't declare milk as an ingredient. Plus, a 3-week-old recall from Fresh and Ready for Listeria contamination. That one covers 86 prepared items like sandwiches and snack boxes that you find at the grocery store or at the airport. The FDA is just worried that you might still have them in your freezer.
So while we see grocery prices increase every single month, every single week, we're also getting less of that exact same item, whether it's through deceptive packaging or just using less ingredients to get a little bit more profit. And then on top of it, there's a possibility that we weren't supposed to have it in the first place. There was a recall. So that's all I got for you guys today. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. YouTube thinks you'll like this video popping up on screen right now, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, and I'll talk to you guys later.